Ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for tuning in to another episode of the Generational Wrestling Podcast. As always, as yours truly, the 28-year-old piece of gold, the franchise, aka the showstopper, better known as the GOW's resident tribal chief. And with me, as always, I got my tag team partner, my brother, my family. He is the flyest in the room, Mr. 1, 2, 3. Pin that ass down, K Breezy, aka King Two Code in the building, bro. What's going on?
Man, nothing much, man. It's Sunday, man. We just chilling. Wanted to talk with the people, man. Had a few things to go over and just get off our chest and speak our piece, man. Speak our piece.
Well, speaking of speak our piece, please. Oh, Leo, what's going on?
What up,
Mom,
Leo? What up,
what's
ma?
up? Speaking of our piece, once again, man, make sure if you haven't already, check out our latest interview with Impact World Heavyweight Champion Josh Alexander. We just did it a couple days ago, so definitely be sure, man, to check that out. Follow us, subscribe to us on the Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, the YouTube, all that at GOW Media 216 Generation Wrestling Podcast and the whole shebang. With that being said, Tuco, man, today is our weekly shooting from the hip series, man. So I got a lot to talk to you about. And one of the first things I want to talk to you about tonight, man, is Naomi and Sasha Banks. Bro, so they've been gone for a little while now. And with them being gone, we've seen WWE that had to call it audible, right? First we're going to get the women's tag team tournament for to determine the new tag team champions. They scrapped that because they realized what we already knew. He ain't got enough. In the words of the great Stone Cold Steve Austin, it ain't happening, right? And now and then you also got Charlotte Flair, who was out because she went and got married to her man Andrade. So now there's three people that's out. You got Bailey, she's hurt, she's out. And now you kind of have to focus on the women you have. You got Becky Lynch. I believe she just lost to Dana Brooke this past Monday. So and we can say what we want to say about that, but we can't complain about women not getting time. We can't complain about people being underutilized. And then when you got somebody with in the words of Tuco, the cachet of a Becky Lynch going out here losing to a Dana Brooke. When you out here, you got Xia Li going at it. Oh my God, with a Shotzi Black. Oh, was it Shotzi that she went up? No, who did Xia Li fight? Oh my God.
That was Shotzi.
No, Lacey. It was Lacey Evans.
Oh no, I'm sorry. It was Lacey. It was Lacey.
Yeah, you got Lacey Evans. She came back and her and Xia Li had a match. You starting to see Shotzi. She's starting to show a little bit more, intuitiveness. Aaliyah, say what you want about Aaliyah. They giving her a little bit more time. Liv Morgan, whatever's been happening, I will say she's been constantly somehow, some way in the picture. You got Rhea Ripley. They trying to uplift her in the Judgment Day. She's looking like the badass we know her to be. Hopefully, we get Alexa Bliss on this decent run. Hopefully, we get Nikki ASH on a decent run. Hopefully, they continue to push Dewdrop and keep pushing Dewdrop. With all that being said, too cold. The main thing I want to talk to you, Sasha Banks, Naomi, they left. Now, you said this, we talked about this earlier. You can agree to disagree with how they did it, but do you feel like their point has been made and the way WWE has been booking the women as of late on the main roster?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, I feel that way because you have to take an accountability. Okay, yeah. You don't have to like the way they might have left during the show, but what was their point? Some would say, well, they were just being spoiled divas. Okay, you can say that, but it's hard to disagree or to disregard the lack of what they've been doing or the lack of this tag team division that's been around for a few years. We still haven't really gotten it the way it was said to be. It's supposed to be the championship that goes across brands, all brands. And they did it one time and then they didn't do it again. And every person whoever gets the championship, they usually hold the title for like 4 months, but they don't do nothing for like 2 months, and then they just come back and then they lose, and then they're champions and they help put over other people, but they're not respected. And you have a Sasha Banks and you have a Naomi who are respected in the wrestling business, regardless of how you feel about them now afterwards. But you can't disregard that they've made a name for themselves in this company. And when you see the direction of what they're doing with you, and it doesn't make sense. It doesn't, like, you lose, you're tired of losing credibility. because you have to think about the way WWE runs the company. You have to think about the way they produce the women. Think about it. And when we say think about it, and like you said, you look at the way the women have been being displayed since they left. You've
Yeah,
seen the importance in a lot of their matches. You weren't really seeing a lot of that before. You were seeing Dana Brooke running around with the 24/7 championship doing goofy shit, getting married and dating and the bowling and all this other stuff. You didn't see all these other women on SmackDown doing what they doing now. Yeah, you could say maybe they planted the seeds. No, they planted the seeds after the fact. They didn't
right,
plant the seeds before the fact. This was afterwards. Then you started seeing all these other women. It had a ripple effect because it spoke volumes to what they had a disagreement with. It didn't make sense for what was set up. You have these champions that you want to make credible. Why not put them on a pay-per-view and let them defend their championships against some upstart tag team like a Dewdrop and Nikki Ash? You can still continue to tell their story of Dewdrop trying to work, trying to get Nikki Ash to be back what she is, but because of her
right,
stubbornness, she cost them the match. Fine, but the women get to defend the championship and they get to have a match on the pay-per-view and get to be seen. So you get more star power. You
right.
build something just just to see where they can go with it, just to see what they can do. But that's not what we got. And so now the championships, ain't seen them. Ain't seen them. Tournament, they may actually do the tournament once I think once they figure out what they're gonna do on SmackDown and all these other women, and
Yeah.
once they kind of change a few stories up. But uh, I'm starting to see the point. Period. I'm really starting to see the point to why they had a disagreement because when you look at it, man, there's a total change in WWE. The way, just look at the last few weeks since the incident happened, and just look at the women's matches. Look at who you're seeing. You're seeing a lot of women you have not seen for months,
Right.
and that's the whole point. You're seeing a whole lot of different people, and there's a reason they're putting them all out there. You could say, well, there's always been a reason why Vince was doing it, but these people been up here. He could have been put these people on TV. He did put these people on TV, and some of them were actually doing really good. They were really getting over, and he just took them off TV. So no, I no, I can't just accept that.
Tuco, I mean, obviously, right now, like you said, the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships for now seems to kind of be pushed to the side. With that being said, man, out of the new crop of women, and even some that's been there for a while that we haven't seen really, get their push, like a Shayna Baszler, she's been off and on in tag teams, but I feel like she really hasn't got her respect as a single star. Out of the women, man, on both brands right now, outside of the usual suspects, the four horsewomen, the Alexa Blisses. Well, I can't even say Alexa Bliss because she's been off really for the last year and a half. So I'm not gonna put her in that category. But outside of the four and Charlotte and everybody,
Mm-hmm.
who do you see or who do you want to see in this next year have a really breakout year? In your personal opinion?
I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing one of the Usos have a breakout year. I mean, I definitely wouldn't mind seeing Jay go for the Intercontinental Championship. I think that'd be something. Um, just to kind of build on that main event Jay Uso line, just I feel like he needs a mid card title run to to kind of show he's not just a tag team guy. He's already kind of shown it, but it's kind of reaffirming it and letting him get a nice little run to build up his credibility. Uh, Ricochet, it was to a degree, but then I kind of seen what happened on SmackDown, and so but Walter, on the other hand, um, I hope I hope right now he's definitely number one on my list. I hope to see him have a breakout year and really dominate, but I just have a feeling, man, he's just gonna be the big goofy giant that just I feel like I don't know, man. I just don't feel like he's gonna happen. I don't know.
Well,
I'm hoping wrong. I'm hoping they'll push him and let him work the way he needs to work, and he can have a great match with Drew McIntyre. He can have a great match with Bobby Lashley. He can have a great match with Roman Reigns if you choose it, or Seth Rollins or Cody if he comes back. There's guys he can go in the ring with and have a good match with. I'm not putting doubt to that whatsoever. It's just about the way they push him and how they script work him to look, and it's just yeah.
we was it's funny you said that, Walter, which is what we know him as, but for the new people, man, Gunther. I was actually gonna bring him up later on in the show, but let's talk about him right now. All right, so right
Okay.
now, man, our boy, he's backstage right now. They say he's very well liked by the higher ups, and they really like his ability to play ball. They wanted him to move over to the states, no problem. The word is they want him to slim down a little bit, tone up a little bit. He did that, no problem. They changed his name, brought him up, changed his music. He went along with it, no problem. And then, therefore, has been already awarded the Intercontinental Championship. Now, to be fair, Ricochet, he did the best he could with it for what they had for him, but nobody really expected Ricochet to hold the title for a long time. You got Walter,
Hell no.
who's already
Hell
come up
no.
to the main roster with outstanding credentials, the longest reigning NXT champion, NXT UK champion in history before he lost it to Ilya Dragunov. Had a pretty solid run on the NXT main brand here in the States. But I mean, I will say this too, Cole. All things considered, right? I think when Walter came, got called up, and then we lost. The other. I want to say I can't remember the guy name right now. Oh my God, Fabian Eichner. When we lost
Yeah,
Fabian,
yeah. But I hear he's supposed to be coming back as something different too.
yeah. So he's coming back rebranded NXT. But when we lost Fabian Eichner, I'm like, okay, damn. Well, now they already missed the Imperium. Then they got rid of the Imperium name, and then they changed the look a little bit, and then they changed the whole presentation, and then they changed the names. And I think people kind of thought that Walter Gunther. I think people thought he was pretty much doomed, right? We kind of thought it's like, all right, well, here we go. This is what Adam Cole was talking about. But honestly, he's actually been one of those rare exceptions so far who's kind of received a push and actually looks legitimate. Now, with that being said, man, Tuco, hearing what you hear about, the higher ups and Vince really taking a liking to Walter, and Walter being that quintessential big guy, that prototypical big guy that Vince goes for, that monster. Do you think Walter be one of those guys, man, who skates by and gets lucky as long as he continues to do what they ask him to do?
I mean, yeah, but the problem is what they're asking him to do, if it's good or not. Like, it's gonna be hard, man. It's gonna be hard for people to really like the match with Ricochet. It was It had its moments where I felt those two should have had better chemistry with each other.
Yeah,
First and foremost. Um, but I don't know, man. You know how WWE makes matches look, man. Yeah, they may, yeah, they. Uh, uh, I ain't got faith in them, man. I'm not gonna sit here and lie, man. I hope it works out. I really hope it works out. Maybe if Triple H is having an input in how the style should work or how it should look or whatnot, or whatever. But
right.
man, I
Be honest, man.
I
Say what's on your mind.
I appreciate Triple H for giving me what he gave me in NXT, but I also hate him because he gave me what he gave me in NXT, and when I look at these guys now, and it's like, man, you're so not what you should be. Like, dude, anybody who's watched Walter just dominate, dude, he's way. I mean, he's not totally not him. It's a few changes, but
Right.
I don't. It's still early, man. But still, to the point, man. A lot of these guys and girls, we know they're better than what they're doing, and they're just not letting them do it. It ain't got and it's different people. That's the thing. A lot of these people are really different from each other. So it ain't like you got a whole lot of the same. But yeah, I just it's just me, man.
All right, man. Speaking of the same, so the one of the complaints, man, has been AEW's women division for the last couple years, really since its inception, has been based around Britt Baker, even before she got her first ever title run. Now we
Yeah, we
start to
talked
see a
about this.
recent, now we starting to see a recent influx of people, of women in the women's division. So let's talk a little bit about Tony Khan, man. Tony Khan. Tony is one of those guys, man, who he's a very polarizing figure very early into his wrestling ownership career. A lot of good, some not so good. But one of the biggest criticisms of Tony Khan has been this booking of the women. Tuco, man, I kind of we kind of tapped in on this a little bit earlier, but I kind of want to get a little more in depth with it because we talked a little bit earlier about the prospect of Britt Baker and you know. Women that need to be elevated to be on the same level to kind of overall shape out this women's division. Before we got Bryan Danielson, before we got CM Punk, what was the one thing you said about the men? You said, we got a lot of great potential talent here. We got a lot of good, established talent, but there's still something missing. You got the influx of Athena. You got the influx of a Tony Storm. You got the influx of a who else am I missing right now? I know I'm missing somebody else. Ruby Soho, who we've kind of shared our grievances on the way she's been booked. Do you think right now AEW is still missing that one or two key pieces in the women's division, or do you think we're fine where we are right now if we can just build outside of Britt Baker?
Well, one, they got to build outside of Britt Baker. They haven't. They have one in Statlander. People are behind Statlander, so you have one.
What would you say
People are
about
on, huh?
what would you say about Jade?
I mean, Jade is Jade, but Jamie Hayter is another one. I'm thinking of people that's not already shining. I'm thinking
Got
Jade
it,
is
got
shining.
it.
She's got the belt.
Right.
She's the TBS champion. We know where she's at. We know she's green like money. She's green like goose shit, but she's green like money. We
Yeah.
know that. But she's got the belt. She's the future, but she's good. Britt's good. It's gonna be Hater when she makes her run. It's gonna be Statlander. It's gonna be a couple of these other girls too. Thunder Rosa when she actually gets into the ring. Sheeta when she gets back. Like they have a good 6 to 8 women that can really, really do something.
Mm-hmm.
They just injuries and storylines just gotta get them there, and getting it back from injuries and have a good storyline or at least good setup for matches because you want to see these people. But that's
Right.
why I say, man, if they ever do bring another championship, I think they need to bring a women's tag team championship. I think you can. It's certain people that can hold it and really do something good with it. Again, I wouldn't flood it, try to flood it. I would give it its time along with a couple of other belts, on Dark and Elevate. Uh, yeah, Dark and Elevation. But yeah, until Tony comes up with a better TV schedule, especially for Rampage, with either another hour, depending on when that happens. Yeah, I wouldn't be trying to flood the show with just championship belts, every day. But eventually, I think they would have to come to it. But right now, they got 2 titles. Uh, you got a nice court. They need to get them an AEW. They need to work with the AEW 6 or 8. They need to take those 8 core group of women right there, and just and put somebody with them and just let them work, let them do their thing. I you yeah.
Well, speaking of putting somebody with him, I told you earlier about the prospect of possibly Paige, right? So Paige, she's went on the social media
I
and she made
mean,
it known that it wasn't her decision to leave WWE, but rather WWE decided to let her go. They had nothing for her. She says even though technically she's not clear, she feels 1,000%. Also, she's also made it known that she does not have a no compete clause. So that means when her contract is up, she is free to go anywhere, any place, anytime. We know Tony Khan doesn't mind bringing in the last minute signings, but something that kind of surprised me was because I told you the thinking was allegedly AEW wanted to
mhm.
bring her in and pair her with somebody like a Jamie Hayter because of their prior history. Excuse me. But you said earlier in the week, and I want to know if you still feel this way, that if Paige did go somewhere, you said Impact Wrestling you feel would be a pretty good suit for her. Do you still stand by that? If AEW was to come out right now, do you think Impact is still the best choice for her in your opinion?
I mean, it can be because it could be her getting her feet back wet.
Yeah,
Like with it being Impact because of her of who she is, whoever she partners up with, she can be a mouthpiece for them and get her, like I say, just get back in there just to get your feet wet. And then when she's ready to test, she can test.
yeah,
Uh where and then if she, when time is up or she decides to stay, she wants to test out AEW. All right, well, boom, go test out AEW. Hey, the fourth wall between all the other companies is open.
yeah.
That forbidden door is open. It's not even a door anymore. It's just a walkway. There ain't no door there no more. It's got the little beads hanging from the ceiling, from the doorway as
Right,
you
right,
walk
right.
by. That's all. That's all that's there. So I'm not opportunity as long as she's able. She got to be able, man. I don't want to see her doing something that's going to hurt herself. That's on everything.
Well, speaking of Abel, Tuco, Impact Wrestling, Impact 2022 has been the year of Impact Wrestling. Impact is slowly but surely, man, making their way back into the fold, having banger after banger, pay-per-view after pay-per-view, top to
Oh,
bottom,
excuse
in
me.
between. You and I, we went to the first Hard to Kill pay-per-view earlier this year, back in January. We seen in person what this roster is capable of, and since then they've added more to both the men and the women's division. Tuco, AEW right now, I think everybody would agree is the close second to WWE. With that being said, do we see Impact Wrestling, if they continue on the trajectory they're on, becoming that powerhouse they once were? Not saying they be in direct competition with WWE like they once was to at a point. Not saying that they'll even be direct competition to AEW per se. But do we see Impact getting that mainstream notoriety they once had in the early to mid 2000s?
I think once somebody sees their progress and wants and is willing to take that chance, because they got to get off access. I mean, I understand
Yeah,
what it is, and for what it is, it's fine,
yeah,
because it's getting them out there. But you want them to, be able to get to something where a lot more people can see them.
yeah.
And if there's a network that's like, hey, we see the wrestling game, we see what's going on. You know what, Impact? Let's take a chance on you. Let's put you on here. Let's do this.
Like imagine
And
like
I
an
could
Impact
see.
like on a CBS or something.
I that would be that would be wishful thinking. A CBS would be wishful thinking. I'm thinking more of a cable network, like what I'm saying, like what are the not Spike TV? Is it not
Like
Spike? Is it called
like
Guys or whatever it's called, Mountain Men, whatever it is, like a Paramount, something like that, man. Whatever one of them channels, man, that you can
could
get
you
on
say like on
Hulu and all
Sci-Fi,
them
how
other
WWE
channels.
used to be on Sci-Fi? Could you see it?
I know because USA is sci-fi.
Oh,
That's all under the umbrella. That's why when you don't see Raw on USA, you see it on sci-fi. So
ah, yeah,
so that couldn't happen. Uh, it can't be TNT because they already got AEW.
right, right,
Um, I don't know. It could be one of them other little channels like that or something. I don't know. Maybe a Fox Sports or no, they got WWE. So now Fox got
yeah.
WWE. See,
Yeah,
I don't know. No, no, ESPN working with WWE. So I
yeah.
doubt if they give a damn. Uh,
Put that shit on a public access channel.
I
They-
man, you know what?
Everybody got
Hell,
that.
that's what they're on, man. Dude, they're already on that. So but I there's somebody. There's
Yeah,
somebody. And when
yeah,
they're ready to say, hey, we want to jump in this, there's already a company out there that just needs us. We need them, they need us. Let's go work something. And they gonna get something, man. As long as they continue on the path of what they're doing, man. Uh the pandemic and AEW has helped bring a life in the independent market of wrestling, and also the mass firing that Vince did. That really helped. Let's
yeah,
just be real.
yeah.
That really helped because you just let so many people go and everybody just left and went all over. So it's like everybody got a little bit of everything, or somebody they want to work with. Either
Right.
they coming through for a minute or they staying forever, whatever. they're there and they've got to use them, and you've seen the change in it. So yeah, man, I can see it for Impact. I wanted them to get it. I want them to get it, man, because if ECW they were on one, but if they were on if they could have really got on a network, but they were too much for TV.
Too
They
much.
were
That
they were
like
too
BET
much for TV.
uncut.
I mean, Impact has his moments also, but they were nowhere near. Now they're nowhere near ECW.
Right.
Impact before was different.
Ooh, a
The
little spicy, a
six-sided
little spicy.
boy, when they got to that six-sided ring, boy, you seen a lot of stuff happen. But honestly though, seriously, I could see them. I wouldn't mind seeing it. I wouldn't mind seeing it, even if Tony finds somewhere for Ring of Honor to go and Impact still finds somewhere to go.
Right.
Dude, are you kidding me? We got a WWE, we got an AEW, we got a Ring of Honor, we got an Impact on major TV networks. We got all this wrestling. Now, yeah, some people are going to be judgy about it. I mean, you can best believe that people would be extra picky about what's going on and watching all the different characters because, of course, that's a lot of wrestling. You're going to have to really do a lot to bring in people's attention.
Right.
So, it could work well, it could not. I don't know, we'll see. But for the time being, I wouldn't mind seeing three companies duke it out.
Tuco, speaking of seeing three companies, we see multiple companies thanks to the forbidden door. Whether it's real, whether it's fake, whether you believe in it, whether you don't. My boy Jay White, Switchblade Jay White, got something to say to the people. Take a look.
Get AEW. Everything you've all come to enjoy and love and cherish over the past few years, you don't have without me, because without me beating Kenny Omega, maybe he doesn't run away. Maybe he doesn't run away and take his success and fame with the Young Bucks and create all elite wrestling. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. If he doesn't do that, you get no unscripted violence. You get no shocking return of Bryan Danielson. You get no long-awaited return of CM Punk. You get no heartwarming, long-awaited triumph for Hangman Page. You get no Britt Baker, DMD. They would still be here because they were here before, but you motherfuckers, you were nothing before. That's why you had to run off, because without me, there's also maybe no Adam Cole, baby. He'd still be sitting somewhere else, wasting away. So, AEW fans, wrestlers, all of you, you are welcome.
My boy went off.
Damn.
My boy was spicy. Now too cold. That was just 58 seconds of a whole 3-minute promo. My boy was going in, but too cold.
Damn.
Your boy Jay White talking that talk. He talking a little spicy.
Damn.
What are your thoughts?
Forbidden Door looks more intriguing by the minute, boy. Oh, that was some fun. It wouldn't be no DMD. It wouldn't be Adam Cole be somewhere else wasting away. Like, dude, are you kidding? No Bryan Danielson, no CM Punk. Like, Kenny Omega wouldn't have tucked his tail and run and took the Bucks. Hey, my boy, my boy was shooting from the hip for real. He was popping them boys. He hit all that. He shot them all. He didn't miss nobody. I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it a lot. I like it. I can't wait to see what happens. Oh, so bad Kenny can't come back. Oh man, so bad Kenny can't come back.
I know. Hey, well, like they say, man, the biz never say never, because the card is always subject to change. Yes, sir. But too cold. With that being said, man, before we wind down and get out of here, man, any final thoughts for the people of the GOW as they tuned in bunches tonight? Thank y'all so much.
Man, we appreciate y'all as always, man. And once again, man, we deeply really am sorry for Friday. That was so last minute. I mean,
hey, bro. Hey, put it this way: we found out at the same time y'all found out. So as soon as we got on the screen, he got on the screen. We was all on the screen.
Man, Like there are not minutes. There are not minutes. There are not there are seconds. There probably is a name for the seconds that if we realize like oh shit. But it just that's just how fast. Like I don't even think the Flash can outrun how fast that was, dude. Like
Yeah,
like
yeah.
dude, really? Like whoa,
Hey,
whoa,
hey,
oh
hey,
shit,
hey, hey, you
whoa.
know what he did, bro? Hey, it's like going to the Windermere, bro. He fooled us with that 3-car Monty.
Man, that's why you stay away from the Windermere.
What's that commercial with the old fisherman dude and the dollar bill? Yeah, you gotta be quick at it.
You're right. What is that? Oh, State Farm or something? Car commercial
Something
and
like
shit.
that, man. But
Yeah,
hey, but we still thugged it out because even though we weren't expecting who we got, man, we still made the
we
best
were
of it.
still
You know,
honored. We were still honored to talk to the champ, though. For real,
absolutely. You know what I'm
for
saying?
real,
The
for real.
walking weapon himself, like I said, man, Josh Alexander, who will
Yeah,
be defending his championship Sunday, June 19th at the Asylum in Nashville, Tennessee, against that
against
boy,
that
man, wrestling
psycho,
legend.
that psycho.
Who we got? Tell him who we going
Psychopath,
up
man.
against.
That boy crazy, man. If you don't know this dude is loony, man.
Who you
He's
talking
been
about?
he's been a loony dude in Impact TNA for 20 years, man.
Yeah,
This dude was a joke, and then he was the world elite, and then he left, and he was he was what the hell was they called in what's the name in NXT
sanity.
Insanity. They were insane, and then he came back, and now he's just a psychopath, just running amok, man. Yo, man, Eric Young is a nut, but he's a awesome nut. This dude knows what he's doing. Like he is one of the best in the business. He's been doing it so long, and to still be so relative, like to
Yeah,
still be like just that's the rare gem of a lot of wrestlers. You know, when they have a good gimmick, when they have a great following, is their
right.
longevity. Like when you people think of Jericho, like yeah, Jericho, but Eric Young's another one, man. People have always wanted Eric Young to be better because we always knew how good he was. We always knew how
Yeah,
good he was in the ring. Uh, yeah, man, Eric Young, Josh Alexander for that Impact World Championship. Hey, that's gonna be a nice one. I ain't even gonna lie. That's gonna be a nice one, man. They gonna beat the shit out of each other. That's just for real.
and then, of course, we got to make our way to the other side of the ring because we got to show love to the ladies, to the Knockouts division. We got the
Oh,
badass queen
yeah,
herself. We got the Knockouts champion, that girl Tasha Steele. She gonna be putting that thing on the line, and the queen of first ever queen of the mountain match. I can't wait to see what's up with that, Tuco, man. Holla at him.
man. I just want to see that. That's what I'm just pointing out. Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
That's
that if you don't look for nothing else, look for that one. That one, hey, the Ultimate X wasn't bad. The Ultimate X
yeah,
wasn't bad.
yeah. We got
Uh,
ultimate, and then they got an ultimate X match. The men they got an ultimate X match coming up on this pay per view as well. So that's gonna be another crazy match.
right. So yeah, no, that's cool. So no, I'm good with that. I just need them to I just need them to just do what they do. I don't second guess. Don't overthink it. Just do what you do best. And that's it, man. Go out there and show the fuck out.
Well, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, again, World Impact World Champion Josh Alexander, Knockouts Champion Tasha Steeles. Good luck to you both in your prospective endeavors. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for tuning in to another episode of the Generation of Wrestling podcast. As always, it's yours truly, the 28-year-old piece of gold. He is too cold. And yeah, man, we'll see y'all when we see you.
Man,
Peace.
whew, it's gonna be a fight.
Gang, gang.
It's gonna be a fight.
They gonna beat him up.
He gonna he gonna squash him. Go ahead, hit the button, man. He gonna squash him.